Welcome to Combat Network. Let's jump straight into it. MMA fans can never catch a break from the endless drama, unexpected announcements, and eyebrow-raising controversies in the world's fastest-growing sport. One moment, a fighter is changing weight classes to save his career. The next, heated arguments are blazing over stolen fans, shady deals, and shocking public statements. Buckle in because today's deep dive into the most head-spinning MMA developments will leave you wondering where this sport is headed. Kevin Holland has never been one to shy away from risk, but his most recent gamble cost him big. He suffered a tough first-round submission loss to Reinier de Ridder, a man who outweighed him by nearly 24 pounds on fight day. That's a massive disadvantage, even for someone with Holland's daring style. After the defeat, the outcry from fans was loud and clear. Move back to welterweight. Now, it seems Kevin Holland is taking that advice. His next fight is officially booked at 170 pounds. He'll be facing Gunnar Nelson on March 22nd, testing the waters of welterweight once again. Gunnar himself has been inactive since March 2023, so neither man is stepping into the octagon with a wave of fresh momentum. Still, the question lingers. Will a lower weight class allow Holland to dominate with his speed and agility? Or will the cut drain his stamina? This matchup promises to set the tone for Holland's future. If he wins decisively, he might finally settle at welterweight for good. If he loses, critics will only grow louder. Either way, it's bound to spark conversation across the MMA community. But Kevin isn't the only fighter betting on a bold next move. Over in the flyweight division, reigning champion Alexandre Pantoja aims to cement his legacy. He's set to defend his belt against Kai Kara-France in the co-main event of UFC 314. Fans can't get enough of these smaller fighters, whose speed and technique often result in electrifying battles. Yet the biggest mystery heading into UFC 314 isn't in the flyweight division at all. It's the main event. Word on the street is that Ilia Topuria and Alexander Volkanovski might be set for a highly anticipated rematch as the main attraction. Though not yet confirmed, the mere rumor is enough to make fans salivate. Volkanovski is no stranger to champion status, and Topuria's spectacular performances have already positioned him as a top contender. Put them together in the octagon again, and you've got the makings of an unforgettable showdown. For now, we wait for the UFC's official announcement. No matter who graces the top of that fight card, Pantoja's co-main event defense is guaranteed to stir up the division. After all, big wins and brutal losses at flyweight can drastically alter the entire UFC landscape. Still, not everyone is convinced that gold around your waist is the main source of motivation. Israel Adesanya is one of the most revered and sometimes feared names in MMA today. He's been the middleweight champ. He's defended that throne multiple times, and he's made more money in a handful of years than most fighters see in their entire careers. According to Daniel Cormier, however, that could be a problem. During a recent conversation, DC recalled that iconic moment when Adesanya faced Kelvin Gastelum. Right before the 5th round, Izzy muttered those immortal words, "I'm prepared to die." That fierce determination propelled him to victory and straight into the championship spotlight. But Cormier wonders if the Adesanya of today, wealthy, famous, and guaranteed a sizable paycheck win or lose, can still channel that same fire in a non-title fight. Cormier, who fought only in 5-round main events for championship stakes, questions whether Adesanya can muster that make-or-break mindset without a belt on the line. After all, hunger often comes from scarcity. When your bank account is full and your legacy is secure, is the drive to fight until your last breath still as sharp? We'll find out soon enough. Israel Adesanya steps into the octagon to face Nasruddin Imavov, and the outcome could either reaffirm his legacy or raise even more questions. While fans debate whether Izzy's killer instinct is alive, another fearless competitor stands ready to prove he's more than comfortable in the big leagues. But one fighter who claims he's hungrier than ever is about to face a huge test. Shara Bullet stands on the cusp of his 5th UFC appearance, already well past the dream he once had just to fight in the organization a single time. With each new outing, he looks more at home, adapting to the grand stage's pressures, from hectic media obligations to the weigh-in procedures. He's made it clear. The plan now is to rack up 10 straight UFC victories. Michael Venom Page, or MVP for short, is no stranger to hype. Known for his flamboyant striking and unorthodox movement, MVP has built a reputation as a puzzle few can solve. Shara's response? Make him uncomfortable. force a change in MVP's style. It's a bold claim, especially against an athlete with some of the flashiest finishes in modern MMA. Shara insists he won't know exactly what he'll do until the cage door closes. He's prepared to adapt on the fly, pulling surprises out of his arsenal that even he doesn't fully anticipate. A wild fight is inevitable when these two face off, and fans wouldn't have it any other way. While some fighters relish the spotlight, others are battling the sting of fans who've suddenly abandoned them. Remember to like and subscribe for more UFC updates. Sergey Pavlovich once stood at the brink of heavyweight supremacy. Then came two devastating losses in a row, one in an interim title fight against Tom Aspin, the other a decision loss to Alexander Vov. For a moment, it seemed the public support he'd earned began to vanish. Some fans turned their backs, doubting if he'd ever regain his top-tier footing. Undeterred, Pavlovich remains focused on proving himself worthy of the heavyweight elite. His upcoming clash with Jairzinho Rozenstruik is more than just a standard matchup. It's a proving ground. A decisive victory could catapult him back into the conversation for a title run, while a loss might see him drift further away from the big paydays and marquee fights. Rozenstruik, on the other hand, sees an opportunity to leapfrog Pavlovich's ranking and position himself for a potential title shot. He's made it clear if Sergey makes a single mistake, it's game over. In a division where one clean power shot can end a bout, both men will fight with caution and ferocity in equal measure. But the heavyweight picture isn't the only battleground where fighters and organizations are shaking things up. Tyron Woodley's days of dominating the UFC welterweight division are behind him, but his passion for MMA remains. That's why when the Global Fight League, GFL, offered a 50-50 revenue split, Woodley couldn't resist. For years, he's been vocal about fighter pay and the need for more equitable deals. The GFL claims to tie every fighter's success directly to the league's own financial performance. This isn't some minor footnote in MMA history. It could represent a watershed moment. If the GFL model succeeds, other athletes might seek similar agreements, pressuring established promotions to reconsider their revenue structures. After all, money is a powerful motivator, and a 50-50 split could lure significant talent away from the UFC, Bellator, and beyond. Woodley is banking on himself and the GFL to flourish. If fans show up, buy pay-per-views, or generate buzz, he stands to profit. He's determined to use every resource at his disposal to make GFL a success, hoping to pocket far more than any guaranteed purse. Whether the organization thrives remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: competition for fighter loyalty is heating up. Money matters aside, personal feuds are stirring up an even bigger firestorm. If you follow MMA for any length of time, you know Sean Strickland has never been afraid to speak his mind. This time, he's fired shots at Khamzat Chimaev, accusing him of shady crypto deals and all-around questionable behavior. Sean took it a step further, calling him a while predicting that after he's done beating Chimaev, the man will go back to peddling crypto scams. It's incendiary talk, even by Strickland standards. He didn't stop there. Islam Makhachev's recent mention of moving up to middleweight to chase double champ status also drew Strickland's ire. The middleweight champ insisted Makhachev is too small to wrestle him effectively, telling him to go back to Dagestan and calm down. Strickland is not one for subtlety, and his unfiltered remarks often land him in hot water, but they also keep fans glued to every headline. The question is whether these fiery callouts will lead to an actual showdown in the octagon. Strickland's harsh language may encourage Chimaev or Makhachev to prove him wrong, or maybe it's all just talk, fueling the hype machine that keeps MMA fans coming back for more. As if that weren't enough drama, the MMA world was shaken yet again by one fighter's baffling remarks. Bryce Mitchell has always marched to the beat of his own drum, spouting conspiracy theories and unorthodox opinions with pride. But recently, he crossed into territory that stunned even his most dedicated followers. He publicly expressed sympathetic views toward a historical figure widely regarded as one of the most evil individuals of the 20th century, the very name that sets alarms off on social media platforms. Dana White wasted no time responding to Bryce's statements, labeling them not only idiotic but unforgivable. He reminded the public that this figure was responsible for millions of deaths and had tried to wipe out an entire race. Dana's frustration was palpable, calling Bryce a stupid man who can't be reasoned with. Although the UFC president is known for supporting free speech among fighters, it's clear he draws the line at praising genocidal dictators. The backlash has been severe, with both fans and fellow fighters condemning Mitchell's views. Some argue that free speech isn't a license to praise historical monsters, while others still rally behind Thug Nasty, claiming his comments are misrepresented or misunderstood. Either way, Mitchell's next appearance in the octagon will likely bring in a flood of viewers who want to see whether he's ready to back up his words or eat them. With so many explosive developments, where is the sport we love headed next? From Kevin Holland's weight class gamble and Alexander Pantoja's title defense, to Daniel Cormier's doubts about Israel Adesanya and Tyron Woodley's bold new venture, it's clear the MMA landscape is shifting under our feet. Sean Strickland's fiery callouts keep tensions high, while Bryce Mitchell's disturbing comments demonstrate how quickly personal opinions can spark outrage. Even in a sport defined by unpredictability, the current wave of controversies, comebacks, and organizational experiments feels unprecedented. Are we on the cusp of a dramatic change in how fighters are paid, how they find motivation, and how they handle fame? Or is this just another chaotic chapter in MMA's ongoing evolution? What do you think? Are you backing Kevin Holland's welterweight run? Will Bryce Mitchell's statements cost him dearly in the cage? And is Strickland right about Chimaev needing to prove his worth? Let us know where you stand. Until next time, keep your guard up, stay curious, and prepare for whatever surprises the MMA world throws our way. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.